Ferragini, aka Frankie Flowers, City TV's garden expert and weather expert at the same time, where I hop on here on all platforms, as a matter of fact, on YouTube, Facebook, as well as LinkedIn and X, formerly known as Twitter, to help you get through the journey of the world of gardening and answer some of your questions. This is the first time that we're doing this live on a Sunday night at 7. Sunday at 7s, I think, sound good. So I'm going to maybe go that way and see how it works out for this evening. Here we go. We are only a couple weeks away to Christmas, and this weekend was probably the number one weekend when it came to Christmas tree sales. Last weekend and this weekend are the number one weekends for people to get out there and get their Christmas trees. So I thought it's only appropriate to talk to you a little bit about the Christmas tree and then even give you some tips and tricks to make that tree last a little bit longer inside your home. So first off, let's talk a little bit about Christmas trees. Oh, Christmas trees. So if we talk a little bit about the Christmas tree and we think about the history of Christmas trees and using different greenery, it's all said that it goes back to the 16th century and Germans. Some feel that the use of a Christmas tree is actually a pagan celebration, but often a lot of the greenery that was used during the dark days of winter were used indoors because it was for hopes of spring to come soon. The tree you can see today, once again, it was the 16th century and it was in Germany overall. And these trees were decorated at that time with nuts, fruits, and even cookies. And at one point, they were decorated with candles. So that's a little bit about where the origins of the tree comes from. Germany, 16th century, bringing greens indoors to hope for spring to come soon, and then decorating that tree with found objects and things from around the garden and around the home so that you could actually have somewhat of a tradition. And now Christmas trees have expanded into a huge industry, both with faux and with real. I want to also give a little bit of a shout out. If you haven't got your Christmas tree yet and you are in Ontario, just let you know there is some great different resources for you in terms of going to get your Christmas trees. Of course, your local garden centers, Bradford Greenhouse's Garden Gallery, have them. But as well, you can go on to christmastrees.on.ca. And this is the Ontario Farm Grown Christmas Tree website, which will show you different locations where you can go and find yourself a beautiful, beautiful Christmas tree. And then a little bit Christmas Tree Day. Let's see when Christmas Tree Day is. Christmas Tree Day. I don't know when Christmas Tree Day is. I should know these things, but I don't. But they're great experiences. If you want to go for an experience to go find out about what it's like to go and harvest your own tree and go in for a nice little wagon ride. One thing that I really noticed is that it's an experience. So not only are you getting the tree, when you do that, you're actually getting the experience of going out. This season, because we've had a couple rainy weekends, I would say probably the Ontario farm-grown Christmas trees, some of those experiences are probably struggling a little bit, but always go out there and support a local farmer. You know, when it comes to real fresh Christmas trees, of course, when they grow, they're going to give us habitat, really key, so that animals have places to live. They provide oxygen. And then after they're all done, they then go into the compost pile. A couple things, though, that I want to kind of give you a little bit of a reminder is when you do have a fresh Christmas tree and you're bringing it inside your home, first thing that you have to do, first step always, is to cut the base of that tree again. That'll open up that seal. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to place it in our home. We don't necessarily need to put it near a window per se. It'll use more water if it's near a window. If there's a heating vent that's there, we want to block the heating vent, so we don't want any alterations with temperature. We want to have a tree stand that has a large water capacity. And as well, I will say that Miracle Grow has come up with a really good product, which is Christmas. It's Miracle Grow for Christmas trees. This one here, not only does it sterilize some of the water in terms of the old stand, let's say that you had some bacteria that's there, a little bit of food in there, and it has shown to increase the longevity of needle retention. So that way those needles will not drop. So just a little bit about Christmas trees to kind of get you in the mood that's out there. We got some people out there saying hello this evening. We got Penny giving us a shout out that's saying hello. We also have Matthew saying hello as well. We got Diane who's saying hello, Frankie from Gamebridge, Ontario. We have Carol Jones this evening that's saying, hi, nice surprise to find you on tonight. Terry Baker, or Terry Barber, forgive me. Hi, Frankie, from the Oshawa home of the Christmas kangaroo. That story of the kangaroo in Durham region, where the kangaroo got lost earlier this week and then was found by the canine unit of the Durham police and actually recaptured, and it hopped around. So yeah, from the Christmas kangaroo. Miriam is giving us a shout out this evening as well from Coburg. How are you? This is another little comment. Carol Jones, I miss a live tree. Hubby is allergic. So some reasons when you shouldn't have a real Christmas tree. Number one, allergies, really key. Number two, if you're going to be away for a period of time during the Christmas season where you won't be there or able to put water in that stand, because as soon as that tree dries out in your home, that tree becomes an extreme fire hazard. If you're finding that your needles are dropping, if you're finding that you allow that tree to dry out, instead of having that fire hazard, you're better off to get rid of the Christmas tree. It sounds kind of sad, than to have a fire hazard inside your home. But once again, for needle retention, that Miracle Grow for Christmas trees, fantastic product that's out there. May saying hello from beautiful Rosso, Ontario, of course. Ashley Brown, good evening, Ashley. Hello, we got our tree today. Swear by the Miracle Grow tree. So I work with Miracle Grow, as you know, and I said to them, in order for me to promote something, I need to know that it works. Not only do I need to test it, but I also have to make sure that it has been tested and that it will provide real results. And by reading the reviews, even with Ashley's review that's there as well, it's amazing how well it does work. We got a shout out from London, Ontario this evening as well, from Randall. We got Bradley, my good friend. Hi, friend, my friend on BT. Carol from Lindsay. Hi, from Carol and Isabel with Saga Beach, first-time listener. So what we do here every time when you pop on, and I'm glad that you're listening to me this evening, is we're here to help you with your garden, your indoor plants, your outdoor plants. And even if you ask a question, so if you type a question in the comments, if I'm not able to answer, the community gardeners that we have on here will answer as well. So I'm here for about half an hour to share some advice, to get you inspired. There's nothing like having live plants inside our home. If we're thinking about a way to boost our mood during the dark days of winter, having a plant inside your home is great, or having many plants. My Monstera, for instance, just last week put out a new leaf, and the joy that it brought me just seeing that new leaf pop up is something that I can't even describe. I was like, hi, I got a new baby leaf, which is so fun that's out there. We got Cheryl. Just bought our fresh tree from Bradford today. Thanks for wrapping it for us. Martin, yeah, of course. When you go to the garden centers, which are my family business, Bradford Greenhouse's Garden Gallery, we'll cut it for you, we'll wrap it for you, and we'll try to do our best to get you the best ones. Christmas trees over the last few years, because the supply hasn't been the greatest. If you're wondering, looks like they've been picked through. There's not a lot available that's out there, so it's been some challenging year for Christmas trees out there. We got Claudine saying hi from Ottawa Valley, beautiful area. I don't know if you're in New Orleans out there, maybe you're in Bell's Corner. Is this the new time for your show? Always love all your tips. Thanks. I'm thinking Sundays at 7. You guys give me a comment out there as well. The reason why Sundays at 7 is really good for me, my son, of course, is really into skiing now, my youngest. And I'm finding on Sunday mornings, I'm heading off to the hill, and Saturday mornings as well. So Sundays at 7, we usually get back from the hill about 5, 6 o'clock. I get dinner done. I can then at the same time clean everything up, and then boom, I'm here. And I'm here to answer some questions. Good evening from beautiful Port Perry, of course, beautiful area. Demetria. Hi, yes, it's a nice surprise to see you doing a live on a Sunday evening. Just decorating my Christmas tree today, a live tree. Live trees, the fragrances, you just can't beat the fragrance. The best live trees that I would say are a Fraser fir. And the reason why I lean more towards a Fraser fir is I have some heavier decorations. So Fraser firs generally have stronger stems. Balsam firs are fantastic as well, but the stems are not that strong to hold some of the decorations that are out there. We got Anne saying hi from Wilberforce today as well. I want to show you something else, guys. So as you probably know, if you follow me, you know that I love to pop up information, and this is my Instagram page. If you go on my Instagram page, you'll see it on Facebook as well. You'll see my recipe that you can see right here. Boom, that recipe is for butternut squash French fries. Fantastic. As well as I have some different ideas for you in terms of buying some different plants for maybe a party that you're attending, or maybe a gift for friends that are out there as well. And I also want to make sure that you get a chance to see the beautiful tree that I, along with the team of Bradford Greenhouses Garden Gallery, decorated for Casa Loma. A gorgeous tree in Sir King Henry Sir Pellet's suite, that is. I will also tell you that this Friday on Breakfast Television from 6 to 10 a.m. That's it. Good way to go, Frankie. 6 to 10 a.m. We will be broadcasting. Breakfast Television will be broadcasting live from Casa Loma. So check us out throughout the week, of course, on Breakfast Television. And there's a look at the beautiful tree that we had in place for you as well. So lots of stuff to see, lots of information to find out, and lots of things that we love to share for you as well. We got a hello this evening from Penetang. Lots of shout outs. Have a great week. See you in the morning on Breakfast Television. I will be there in the morning. We got a little shout out here from Midland as well. Then we got a good evening from Collingwood, Ontario. Hey, speaking of some of the snow loads, the variation in temperature. Let's talk a little bit about that and how it impacts our gardens, our perennials, and our plants that are outdoors. So we've been having some fairly big swings in temperature. So if we thought about Friday of this week, we had double-digit highs. So we've had a little bit of snow, double-digit highs. Today, you could have went and skied at Horseshoe and then golfed if the golf courses were open. These temperature swings are not really beneficial for plants, because generally what we want them to do is to go into a rest period. How a plant goes into a rest period, a perennial, a tree, a shrub, your roses outdoors, how they go into a rest period is not only based on the shortness of days that triggers them not to be actively growing, but as well those cooler temperatures. And those cooler temperatures, we want a gradual cool off. When we have these temperature swings that go up, down, and all around, it really jolts the plants and really will stress them. And generally, it won't be the winter that kills the plant, but if the plant goes under stress, like a perennial goes under stress during the winter, and then we get into a dry spring and a really hot summer, boom, that plant's gone. So still key, if we go through periods of time, even in the winter, if we had several days of dry conditions and we see our plants are appearing to look, especially your Christmas greens, like your urn stuffers in the front, you still should water, even though you probably turn the water off that's out there as well. We got a shout out from Oshawa this evening as well. Hello from you. We got a Merry Christmas from Leamington, Ontario. For those that don't know, Leamington, Ontario is a horticultural mecca, more so in terms of greenhouse growing. Lots of vegetables are produced there. Mucci Farms, for instance, that's there. But as well, there's some very large annual growers that are there. And as well, for long periods of time, I used to go there to, at the time, was Yoder. It was a chrysanthemum trial. So that's where I would go and take a look at the new introductions of fall garden mums to figure out which ones we would grow for the following seasons. Greenhouse growers just recently had some different trials for poinsettia trials. There are so many new varieties that are coming up. The next big thing that greenhouse growers look forward to are some trials that happen in California in April. And then as well, there's a huge, huge show that happens in Germany that will happen. It's a big garden center show that will happen as well. Matthew, are you going to see the movie Willy Wonka with your kids? Good to see. Good to hear from you. I don't know if I'm going to be going to see that one as well. I'm just going to see what's going on. Darlene, hello from Tweed. So a couple things that I want to remind you about as well. When it comes to indoor plants right now, today, gray, gloomy. Yesterday, gray, gloomy. 5 o'clock at night, it is complete darkness. In the morning, it doesn't seem like the sun doesn't come up till 8:30. So if we think there's not that many daylight hours, and even with all the darkness that we've been having, we don't really have much sun whatsoever. So because of that, our plants indoors don't need as much water. If you're watering indoors, what I really recommend for you to do is to make sure that you check your plants before before watering. If they're moist in any capacity, do not water. It's so key to allow them to dry out. Really key that you do that. If not, they're going to suffer from root rot and won't do well as well. So we got Barb saying a Merry Christmas from Crystal Beach this evening. We got Bill Kennedy, my good friend Bill Kennedy, utterly smooth. Good evening, Frankie. My wife Diana is thankful for Christmas cactus information. We are blooming. Life is good. So Christmas cacti, of course, is a forest variety of cacti. That variety of cacti is one that blooms based on the shortness of days, but also having a cooler overnight temperature. It's a plant that does like to be in fairly pot bound, so it doesn't like to be repotted that often. But if you have it in a room where you turn the light on all the time, it may not allow it to go into bloom. It needs to go into a room where it has natural daylight, but natural darkness. And that room's a little bit cooler at night, really key. Also, allow it to dry out. By allowing it to dry out in later fall and then stressing the plant, and then the shortness of days combined with that cooler evening temperature, boom, that will trigger it to set its buds overall as well. Hawk, what a name, Hawk from Napanee. Good evening to you. That's it there as well. We have Susan, who's saying, Merry Christmas from Etobicoke. Question for you. When it comes to Christmas lights, love Christmas lights. I'm not a big fan of inflatables, I gotta tell you that. But I do love Christmas lights. And when it comes to Christmas lights, I think there's nothing better than my two top favorite Christmas lights. Well, I'm gonna do it in three. I will always go to a warm white Christmas light. Love that. I also love multicolored or red. Any of the other colors, I can take or leave. If you love to see lights, another reminder, Winter Wonders that's happening at RBG is one that you really need to take in as well. Royal Botanical Gardens, located basically just right as you make your way over towards Burlington and Hamilton. As a matter of fact, RBG is located in between. The properties are both on Burlington and Hamilton. Winter Wonders is in Hendry Park. It's an amazing. So you're just going to basically go park at the main office of RBG. You're going to walk across and you're going to see a beautiful light display. If you can, go on Open Table and book a tea in the tea house. It's just so charming overall. That's something that I really recommend for you. Here's another question that we have from Lori. Hello from Bowmanville. Do you know when the flower show is in Germany? So it's actually a trade show. So this trade show happens the second week of January, and it's a fairly large. And I if you want, you can email me, Frankie@frankieflowers.com. I'll look up the name of the trade show because my old age right now is not allowing me to remember that name. But it's the second week of January. Carol Jones, Carol. White indoors with decoration on the tree. Outside, mixed colors on bushes. Yeah, a white light indoors, nice white warm light indoors. Outside, mixed colors on bushes. I will say that's good. I will say that. Like I think lights make you just happy. Lori Smith giving us a thank you, and I thank you as well, Lori, for commenting as well this evening. Something that may be happening, and I remind this all the time, just because it's seasonal. If you in your home right now see what appears to be fruit flies, I will give you a 90% likelihood they're not fruit flies. And if they're coming from the soil of your plants, once again, those are fungus gnats. That's a number one indicator that you're overwatering your plants. Fungus gnats need moist soil. They need decaying plant material for them to really do well. If you want to reduce the number of fungus gnats inside your home, always allow the plant to dry out, as I've been stressing. Another thing you can use is yellow sticky traps. And then as well, you can put a little bit of cinnamon, dust a little bit of cinnamon on top of the soil, and that can work wonders as well. If you have cats, let's say that you have cats inside your home that are digging into your plants, one of the best things you can do is just go to the aquarium store and get some of the rocks, the decorative rocks that you would put on the base of your aquarium. Pick a color that you like. You can even go to the dollar store and get some of the pebbles and or rocks that are there and just cover the base of your soil of your plants with those. It'll look decorative, it'll look good, and it'll irritate the paws of your cat. So your cat will not dig into the plants that are there. So good tips for you in terms of if you have cats that are curious. People always ask me, are poinsettias poisonous to cats and dogs? If you have a curious cat or a curious dog, I would really recommend not having a poinsettia or putting it out of reach of those curious pets that are there. As well, one of the best plants that you could ever have indoors is the Christmas cactus. Christmas cactus are totally safe for all pets. One of the worst plants that could cause harm if at this time of year as a seasonal plant are amaryllis. Actually, the bulb of the amaryllis are really toxic. So just a reminder about the amaryllis as well. So we got, I'm actually gonna cut it at that, guys. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna continue. If anybody has some questions, now the time to ask those questions when it comes to the world of gardening. If you don't have any questions, I still would love to know what you're thinking of terms of Christmas lights, what your favorite Christmas lights are. Another thing that I'm kind of considering as well, poinsettias. Do you like them or do you not like them? And the reason why I asked this question is, you know, as our population has changed in Canada, when we have a large amount of immigration, you know, there are probably other plants that are more suitable for other cultures. And I would love to know what those plants are. I'd also like to know that if you're not really buying or like a poinsettia, it's important for us, then we can maybe figure out what other things can we be growing as growers to produce for you that you would like to have in your home as something that's seasonal. You know, there are many different things that are out there in terms of plants. We can even get rosemary trees, which are really quite nice that are trimmed. Rebecca Glover says, there's a shout out. She says she loves them. She says she loves them. We got Matthew. We got Claudine saying, I do like poinsettias. We got, and I love this. I love this. This is live right now. Carol Jones, love poinsettias, but my dog likes eating plants. Those are the princettias, are the nice little varieties. If your dog likes eating them, I would stay away from them. We got Lacey, who's giving us a little bit of a recommendation. I like white lights and colorful decorations. I love poinsettias. Poinsettias, I can't find to keep them alive. Plus, my cats eat them, so I gave up. Number one way to allow a poinsettia to stay alive, really allow it to dry out in between waterings. Lori says she loves the rosemary trees as well. Marlene saying, I love poinsettias. There's so many different varieties that are out there as well. So it seems like right now, if you don't like them, tell me if you don't like them, because everybody that's telling me they love them is telling me if you don't like them, tell me what you don't like about them. And then that also is a great way for me to really know what we're doing as well in terms of greenhouse production. So right now, what we're doing at the Family Greenhouse, Bradford Greenhouses, is we are sowing. We've already planned our entire spring production. We already have the seeds in. We have all our cuttings that have been ordered, and we will be going through, and we've already started to sow seeds of several different varieties. Begonias, there were some that I just saw. Some ornamental grasses is what I just saw. Pansies as well. Those guys have been sowed. A little bit early for you if you're thinking about sowing seeds. We do it earlier on just to have them available in production. We can slow them down in growth by cooling them off as well. But the other thing that we're planning for right now, this is how far in advance, is we're planning for fall of 2024. So just a lot going on. We got Bonnie, who's giving us a comment this evening as well. Have not bought a poinsettia in years. Never will again. I find them old-fashioned. Okay, Bonnie. And that's what I'm thinking a lot of people do, is they do find them old-fashioned. I like them. Used to buy blue tinted ones. The blue tinted ones would be sprayed with a floral paint. So you get a white poinsettia and you can spray with floral paints and you can make them any colors that you ever wanted. We got Debbie saying, I've never been a fan of the poinsettia. Carol saying, spring, exciting. Spring's right around the corner. Right around the corner. We got another comment here from Christine, my good friend Christine out in Prince Edward County. I don't like poinsettias because they're poisonous to my cats. I never purchase them. And this is some of the things that we're hearing. So it's you see how there's so many people that like, and then if you don't like a poinsettia, then the question is, what do you like at Christmas? Do you buy extra plants at Christmas? Do you buy a Christmas cactus? Do you buy a red calendula? That's another great little plant that you can buy as well. Do you buy an orchid that lasts a long time? Just kind of curious. Lori Smith, thanks for helping me out here too, guys. We have colorful lights outside with a light organ playing Christmas music. I love it. I love poinsettias, but our cat likes them too, so we don't get them. We got Matthew with a comment as well. Matthew, no, do not like poinsettias. Rebecca Glover, I love Christmas cactus. Christine says she loves Christmas cactus. Rebecca is saying this evening, How can I get my cyclamen to bloom? Cyclamen are not the easiest plant to get to rebloom. Once you have a cyclamen and you have it in bloom, it's quite easy. But with cyclamen themselves, they actually have to go through a full dormancy period to make them go into rebloom. Cyclamen are almost like a tuber and or bulb. So with the cyclamen, after it finishes its bloom period, it does have a nice foliage, but to get it to rebloom, it's one that's not the easiest, and often it's better in the compost pile than trying to get it to rebloom. We got a comment from Lisa. I'm really enjoying Grinch trees plants. They are a big conversation starter. Yeah, the Grinch tree is super easy as well. All you can do is, well, number one, you can take the cypress. So there's a lemon cypress that you can use and make it into a Grinch tree, right? Because it actually smells like lemon. We can actually take boughs of cedar and we can tie the boughs of cedar, put it into a floral oasis, and we can make a Grinch tree out of that. The Grinch trees are something that have been around for quite some time now, but people love them. They are so much fun. Lacey has a Christmas cacti and she loves them. Cyclamen. I bought cyclamen this year as well. So Brenda, with cyclamen, the key for cyclamen to have them last a long time, you put them in a bright room, not directly in front of light, but they like a cool room. The cooler the room, the better they will do. Lisa. Also, I love porch gnomes made out of upside down tomato cages. So super cool, right? That shape of a gnome. So we take a tomato cage, which we normally shove in like this, but then what happens if we put it upside down? It becomes basically the hat or head of a gnome. Then you can either take a garland, so we could take a fresh garland and wrap the garland around that tomato cage. Then all of a sudden it makes it look like a nice green gnome. But you can also make a Christmas tree out of that as well. Christmas cactus and amaryllis. We got votes for Christmas cactus and amaryllis from Penny. We got a comment here, which is, I like a beautiful centerpiece with pine boughs, pine cones, maybe candles, berries, and ornaments. Super simple and great as well. I just did a make and take, which is some of the different workshops we do at Bradford Greenhouse's Garden Gallery. We can teach you on how to make those centerpieces so easy as well. Monica, I have an indoor succulent dish. Love that. Do I have to fertilize it? What would you suggest? Happy holidays, Frankie, from Monica in Bolton. Monica, you do not have to fertilize it during the winter months, but as we come to March, you can just fertilize with a cacti fertilizer. So Miracle Grow does have a cacti formulated fertilizer. And if you can't find that, just do a regular Miracle Grow water soluble fertilizer. I would just make it a little bit of a half strength would be the way to go there. I just bought a cyclamen and it has beautiful blooms and more coming out. Cyclamen's an underrated plant, a beautiful, great underrated plant. We got Susan here saying, good evening from Whitby. I forgot to cut out my peonies. Is it too late? Have I damaged them for next year's season? No, because it's been so warm. If you want to go cut them back, go cut them back right now, unless they are herbaceous, a woody stem peony. Sometimes the herbaceous varieties, if it's just a traditional peony, go ahead, cut away. But I would still allow about 14 inches of the stems to be there, maybe 12 to 14 inches. That'll catch the snow, but cut everything else down that's there. Just disappointed to hear that amaryllis is toxic. Here's what it is, Lori. I can't do anything else. We got Monica that's saying, have a great week. You have a great week too. Lisa that's saying, I also love square boxwood wreaths. Oh, the square boxwood wreaths are really quite nice. The other thing that you can do with a wreath, just as a reminder, if you're somebody that's not too Martha Stewart, you know who Martha is, what we can do is we can take a wreath, right? And you can always put as a table centerpiece, you can always lay the wreath flat on your table and then put a bowl in the area where the wreath is open. Put the bowl there. And then you can put some apples, just red apples in there. You can put pomegranates because pomegranates are really good for Christmas. And that's really a nice way for a table centerpiece. And then you can actually decorate the wreath if you want. So you can even use an outdoor wreath if you're like, I have no table centerpiece, and you have an outdoor wreath, maybe an extra. Just put it in the middle of your table, put a bowl in the center of it. Boom, you're done. Super easy. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're Martha Stewart. You're so cool. Okay, guys, we are at a half an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed our comments and questions and kind of information. I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to do a couple here. We're going to do a couple here and then we'll say goodnight. Christine's replying, I cut down my Christmas tree this year. Love real greenery in my home. at Christmas time, particularly on my mantle stairs, such a beautiful fragrance, so Christmassy. I'm watering my trees every day. Beautiful. I do love the fragrance of a Christmas tree. Can't beat it. Hi, Frankie. My son's high school, Huntsville High, did Poinsettia Greenery fundraiser for the trip to France from your family greenhouse. They're absolutely gorgeous. We do a ton of fundraisers, and we thank you as well for, number one, supporting your son's trip. Number two, supporting a local family business as well. And Matthew says, bye, Frank. And that's the best way that we're going to end it on this evening. There we go. So I hope everybody has a wonderful week. You can see me tomorrow morning on breakfast television, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 6 a.m. on City TV. Tomorrow, I will be at the Weston Harbor Castle, checking out what they're doing for the Christmas season. And once again, this Friday, Casa Loma, breakfast television live from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., celebrating Christmas with you. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. So nice to be here. And I hope you like Sundays at 7. If you like Sundays at 7, put it in the comments. I'll look at the comments, and hopefully we can keep it at this. Okay, guys. Peace. Have a great night. Sleep tight.